Turns out partying can be a full-time job. Today's guest is Montreal's socialite turned social gal. She looks the party, lives the party, and tells us all about it.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Campbell, aka Jen Campbell, and I'm the editor-in-chief founder of Diary of a Social Gal and longtime social columnist for the Montreal Gazette and Hello Magazine. And I am passionate, clearly, about the social scene.
Jen, thank you so much for joining us on the couch today.
Thrilled to be here with my best accessory.
Yes, this is
Presley.
one fabulous accessory.
Well, you know, I was leaving the house this morning and he was giving me those puppy dog eyes. And I just thought, Presley, okay, jump in. You are the
He's
quintessential.
coming.
Yes, the canine accessory.
Perfect. Well, I mean, this is so fitting of social gal.
It is. I don't think anything could sum it up better.
Exactly. So Diary of a Social Gal has become such a huge brand in Montreal, and everyone who's anyone in Montreal wants to feature in it.
I knew I liked you.
How did that come to be? How did you come up with the concept?
Oh my goodness, how long do we have, right? Our couch therapy. Well, it was a dream of mine for a long time. I mean, even ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be in media. That was always the dream. I knew that that was where I think Presley's hanging out with you, my sister. So it was always the dream. I didn't know in what incarnation or what path I would eventually take. I actually segued into law school. I don't know
Oh, wow.
if you caught that in my bio, but I was always very passionate about every form of media. From radio to television. And I don't know, I've had the privilege and pleasure of working in newspapers, in magazines. I work for Hello as well. Of course, I've been with Gazette 10 years.
Right.
TV, radio, I did a show with Tommy for a while. And again, all really cool platforms, but there was something about magazines, and also I think there's always been an entrepreneurial spirit, a desire to create things of my own, and really Diary is a brand.
Right.
And I find the whole concept of launching something from nothing, because that's really the ultimate form of creativity, you know, creating something from nothing. Okay, Presley, make yourself really comfortable. you little cheater there, leaving your mama. So I love the concept of starting something from scratch, and you know, it's just this inordinate opportunity to be creative in so many ways.
Right.
And so there's the magazine, there's the website. When I say brand, we're doing.
And you did an amazing job branding it.
Oh, well, branding the brand.
Yes.
Well, you're very kind. My goodness, I want to be back next week. But you know, it's a lot of hard work, and you know, I'm not going to say it's been an obstacle-free journey.
Okay.
Because I had no idea. I'd never launched a magazine.
But why a magazine? I mean, of all things to launch, why a magazine?
In 2015, when the whole world is digital? What was I thinking? I must be a little crazy.
That's it. Everyone's going towards video, and you start a magazine.
Right. Was a little bit crazy. I mean, but there has always been something for me, something innately glamorous and over the top about magazines, especially fashion magazines, oversized magazines, and of course Diary is 10 by 13. Bigger is better. And I love that whole luxury lifestyle niche. Actually very inspired by Jason Bin, who of course was the founder of Niche Media Publications, Ocean Drive, Gotham. Now he's DuJour.com. And actually he, interestingly enough, has gone down the digital road, which we're navigating at the same time. But he still has his foot in print, and they do a quarterly. DuJour is still quarterly.
Right.
And there's also a reverse trend, if you've noticed, where you have these massively, gargantuanly successful media giants online, like Style.com, like Net-a-Porter.com, and all of them now have their own magazine. So I think, especially in the worlds of luxury, lifestyle, fashion, you're always going to have these magazines because they're like a bijou, they're like an accessory.
Right.
They're
it's something people can take home.
Yes.
And it's So you don't think it's going out of style?
I think this is just my humble opinion, and for what it's worth, I think that newspapers, and of course having been with Gazette for 10 years, I think that newspapers are going to predominantly live online. The
Okay.
fast action news that people want to consume on a moment by moment basis, I think that that will all live in our mobile world, in the digital world. But I do believe that there will be this vintage fantasy fabulous place for magazines.
Okay.
I mean, even the tabloids, I think, will be predominantly on our tablets, tabloids on tablets. But I believe that the future of these glamorous, fashionable accoutrements in media, they will endure.
Okay. And what has been the hardest part of starting a magazine?
Oh, my
Or starting
goodness.
Social Gal?
Well, it's funny. When we're moving into our 5th edition now, if I survive it, which of course is you're invited to the launch party.
Yay.
Hoping it's going to be in December. The whole crew too. What a great crew you have. I thought naively, oh, this isn't that difficult. We'll set up a little website. We'll get some good writers together. I think sometimes, ignorance is bliss. I have
Right.
no idea about this crazy journey we're embarking on. Although I also think it lends some good perspective when you don't have all that experience, because you navigate
Right.
new waters and you find new ways, fresh ways of doing things.
And doesn't it make you more daring because you don't know
You have
what
nothing to lose.
and you don't know what to be afraid of. You're just doing
Yes,
it.
you're completely in the dark. Well, I remember before, as I started telling you, before the first edition, it was very funny because I was really freaking out, towards the
Really?
end.
Oh
And
my
my
God.
mother, being very close, everyone who knows me knows she's part of the Gentourage, right? Presley, my mother, and actually, unfortunately, my good friend Bradley, who's also my publicist, he couldn't be here today. He's
Okay.
a bundle of fun. But my mother turned to me and said, as I was freaking out, she says, well, what would possess you to think you can do a magazine? Right? I said, well, I've written for Hello, and I write for the Gazette, and I've written. And then she says, well, I'll say it again. What would possess you? And, I think I had no idea. And there were many challenges.
Okay.
And
You've
you
pulled
really,
through.
I have pulled through. Very challenging, navigating, word of the day, the business development side, the advertising, as well as the content and the editorial. I mean, the dream is to one day have more people on the inside,
Right.
because we're a very lean team.
Right.
So that's been definitely one of the bigger challenges. But yes, it's amazing what we can do when we stay persistent and keep our eye on the goal and are passionate.
Right. Right. And so I'm assuming growing the team is one of the plans for the future. What else for Diary
Oh my
of a Social
goodness.
Gal?
So many, it's funny. It's I joke that I'm torn between conquering the world and escaping it. And feel free to escape with me at any
I'll
time.
escape with you.
Let's go to New York.
I think about that too sometimes.
I think creative people do. I think it's part, and also entrepreneurial types, and
Right.
they kind of go together.
Because you want to do it all, and
Yes.
at the same time, sometimes it gets overwhelming.
Completely overwhelming. I say I get overgenned. Yes. And, when I'm in escape mode, I'm teaching yoga and ballet.
Oh,
And
nice.
yes, we'd have a heck of a good time there with our downward dogging. Hey, Presley, there you go, downward dogging, that was for you. But then in the conquer the world mode, I have many, many dreams. And I think that I've really only actualized a few of them at this point. And even
Okay.
though I'm not 19, I just have so many things I'd love to do. I mean, I see the brand moving in the direction, I think there's a TV show in there.
Right.
And I've spoken with a dear friend of mine who is, she does financing for movies.
Okay.
And she actually had me write, and you and I talked about this, she had me write a treatment for a sitcom. And she showed it to some friends of hers in the biz, because she knows all these industry types. And
Industry people.
Yeah, and
Those
it's-
mysterious industry people.
yeah, and it's the Entourage is out now, and when I hear her on the phone, her name is Lisa Wolofsky Mastro Giuseppe. Now there's a mouthful,
Yes.
but when she's on the phone talking deals, I mean it's like an episode. She's like the female version of Ari.
Right.
So she had me pen this, and she showed it to some friends, and they seemed to like it. So now I've got to work
Good.
on the pilot, and which is terrifying. Ooh, sorry, Presley.
Bless you.
Bless you. But the on the other side, there's a reality show that we were working on as well.
Right.
And then you and I are talking about a talk show.
Yes.
So I think, going back to TV where I came from is definitely part of the plan.
Right.
But I also see collaborations with designers, clothing. I think e-commerce is definitely the way to go, and building it, and of course building our platform online. Because I say I'm Jen of all trades, hopefully master of a few, but I'm very between the two worlds of the digital and the web world. And sorry, Your Lordship, I massage upon command. But then there's also really putting some love. You want to make sure that the magazine maintains its influence and is
Right.
up to standards. But then there's also, of course, I just came off of the C2 conference,
Right.
and digital, mobile,
It
digital,
is.
mobile. So, there's a lot of, I don't feel that our website is where it needs to be, and I don't feel that our, mobile version is where it needs to be, and as I said,
Okay.
the e-commerce. So there's a lot of work to be done there as well. And
Okay.
growing the team, that's very important.
Right.
I feel that I haven't invested enough in surrounding myself with the right team members because I'm so busy trying to address the tasks in hand,
Right.
and, taking care of things and running all over.
Right.
And
You want to be hands-on and
Well, that's
do a little
it.
bit of everything.
And the thing too is, when you're covering the social scene, and this is for the Gazette and others like Hello, and of course for Diary, it's a very unique beat because you're physically at the event, but you're engaging with the people, you're grabbing everyone's photo, you're getting everyone's fashions. So you're working there, and then you're putting it all up after there's a whole physical, social dimension,
Right.
which isn't necessarily at play when you're writing, about fashion.
Well,
or,
it's interesting you say that because a lot of people may look at what you do and think,
So
oh my
easy.
gosh, it's so easy.
I know.
She's just partying all the
I
time. She
know.
goes to all these fabulous
I know,
events. How
I
lucky
know.
is she?
I know, and it makes me laugh because even very close friends of mine, I work I don't even know, 20 hours a day, and
Right.
I'm always working. And there's a little bit of glam, don't get me wrong, but I'll have friends of mine say, "Oh, you're up at 7?" I'm like, "Up at 7? I was up at 5:45. What are you talking about?" Yes, they have this. They think I'm on a couch as we are now,
Yes.
popping bonbons, relaxing, getting my hair and makeup done,
Having mimosas for
Yeah,
breakfast.
mimosas. Well, that's the thing is I keep joking that I only wish that the reality would be this myth,
Yes.
that if I could just kind of live the life of Diary that people envision, that would be fabulous. But
Right.
it's a lot of
There's
hard
a lot
work.
Of hard work.
Yes.
And I find that that's something I'm learning with a lot of guests on this show is that it often does seem very glamorous from the outside, but they put in a lot of
Yes.
hours and a lot of work, and there's a lot involved in the back end. And a few days ago we had a screenwriter, and she was saying people think it's just writing a movie and then just sending it off and your job is done. She's like, no, I'm still a one-woman show. I still have to do the selling of the script, marketing it, promoting it, and do
Exactly.
all these other things. And I find with a lot of entrepreneurs, we end up wearing a lot of hats.
Well, no, that's very well said. We wear so many hats, hopefully glamorous ones.
Yes.
No, but there is so much work involved, and to be an entrepreneur, and careful what you wish for. You create a brand, you create something, and then you have to perpetuate it. You have to keep it. One of the speakers at C2 is wonderful, the founder of Movember, and he's built that into a $500 million. Adam Garoni, he's built that into a $500 nonprofit brand.
Right.
But one of the things that really resonated with me, and this pertains to nonprofit and for-profit entrepreneurs, you create it, it's fabulous. He launched literally a culture of men and brought so much
Right.
attention with his mustache and Movember, but then you have to reinvent yourself and stay
Right.
relevant. And so that's very challenging in and of itself too.
Right.
And there's always a lot of competition, and you've got to stay in the game.
There is a lot of competitions, and people see what you do, and usually if you do it well, you will have copycats.
Yes, I don't like those copycats. Why can't they be creative? We're creative. We came up with our own thing. Fooey on those copycats. No, but the best thing
It's
is
good.
when
It
you-
keeps you on your toes.
It keeps you on your toes, but you know what I found, Cindy, is the second I check out, you want to look at people that inspire you. You know,
Right.
I'm blown away by the likes of Jason Bin with Du Jour, by the likes of V Magazine, Tatler, the oldest magazine in the world. These extraordinary media entities that rock my world.
Right.
But I find sometimes when you look at others, perhaps some of these copycats, it takes you away from your focus, and that we're
Yes.
all our best
That's
when
true.
we're our best us. Tommy Schnermacher, the legendary, said to me, my best advice to you is be you, because
Right.
nobody will be Jennifer Campbell
Right.
better than Jennifer Campbell.
No.
And I thought that was very brilliant.
Only you can do it.
That's right. And we need to stay focused on, oh, that was quite something, Presley. You're showing Cindy how you can chat in an
Sounds like a
interview
cat.
too. Yeah, it's a little meow chic there. What was going on with you, Presley? Do you have animals?
No, I don't, but I
Well,
might get this one.
You're dating Presley now. Who knew? You have good taste, Press. Cindy's a hot chick.
So being yourself, you and your pup.
Yes.
That's one definitely good advice. You know, sometimes people want to just imitate what they see. And I mean, not that you always have to reinvent the wheel, but you should be original, you know, to some extent.
Yes, and I think being original is really, it's being true to yourself, you know,
Right.
and I mean, look, you're such a great original, and you had a passion for starting this, and I think when you stay true to yourself, and you are your best brand,
Right.
I mean, we are our best brands, and
Right.
I think that it's really important not to lose that.
And so, with everything that you've learned since you started Diary of a Social Gal, what advice would you give to other women maybe looking to go in the same industry?
I'd say maybe don't bring your dog to an interview because that could get a little dicey. No, on a serious note, there's been so many, Presley, you were doing so well up until
I
now.
know.
You were a star. You were starting your own
He's getting
Instagram.
restless.
Yes, you're getting a little restless, babe. Okay, go to your new girlfriend. I think there's many, many lessons that have been learned, and again, a constant learning curve as well. And we're always finding new ways, new coping mechanisms, new life lessons. But I've found a few that keep me going. Apart from just staying true to yourself, I think it's important to find some balance, to find some other outlets. I mean, I find yoga really,
Right.
really helpful, because there's a lot of, when you're an entrepreneur and you're passionate about, not just as an entrepreneur, but you're doing anything in life that you're passionate about and want to do well,
Right.
you need some yin to your yang. And so, I mean, even if it's power yoga, but I find yin yoga in particular has been very therapeutic for
Oh,
me.
okay.
Really keeps me
Okay.
focused, and really helps me, with all the crazy and the unexpected. I think it's important to stay healthy too. Those are other, eat healthy, you are what you eat.
Right.
I think that's important. Sometimes we lose sight of that, go to the junk food, and I think that is not good for the journey. So many things. The impossible is possible, Audrey. I put that in the editorial note of our 4th edition. Audrey Hepburn talked a lot about, I am possible. The
Right.
impossible is I am possible. And, you live that every day. And I think that's very instructive for the future, because I've seen that I could take something from nothing,
Right.
go against the grain when
You can
everybody's,
create.
yeah, everyone's moving away from magazines. And I think it's also very helpful to speak to other people that are doing what you're doing, either as an entrepreneur. I met a gentleman recently, and he actually has an exhibit right now, Opus Books. I don't know if you're familiar with
No.
Opus Books. They're these extraordinary oversized books, and they're collector's editions, and he's done a Michael Jackson book, and
Okay.
special F1 books, and they're on display now during Grand Prix, because there's special collector's editions. And so in honor of Grand Prix, it'll be at Holtz for, I think, the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
But the reason I bring that up is I had an interview with him recently for the next Diary magazine, and it was very cool to speak to somebody who was also kind of embarking on this reverse journey. And, we exchanged a lot. I mean, he's a global entity. Diary is not a global entity, but one day,
One day.
one day it's coming. And Presley, on that journey, you'll have to be better behaved. But he was really cool, and it was very soul replenishing to speak to somebody. And so I think, I've been looking to start, and I invite you to do this with me, a women's entrepreneur group, and even,
Right.
maybe more niche women in media, because, you're embarking on your journey here and have had great success, and I've
Right.
watched you blossom.
Oh,
And
thank
that's,
you.
No, it's really, really cool. I mean, I remember, you were pursuing other passions, and then
It's been a journey.
No, it's been an amazing journey, and again, enormous respect for you, and power to you to
Thank you.
take it and bring it to this level. I mean, I thought this morning it was me, you, and a cameraman. It's me, you, and an entire crew.
An entourage.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Well, I'm looking forward to collaborating with you in the future, and I have a feeling the world will see a lot more of you in the media. And they have no idea what a personality you are, what a character. You
Yeah.
and your pup, who's kind of stealing the show right now.
Yeah, Presley, seriously? I mean, this was Mama's moment, and look what you're doing to Mama. It's embarrassing.
But thank you so much.
Ooh.
Thank you so much for making the time today. And I know you're off to doing more fabulous things.
Well, it's F1 in the city.
Exactly. So
F1
there's a lot
GT.
coming up. And thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you to you guys for joining us on another episode of Couch Talk. Thank you, Presley, as well. And join us next time on the next episode.
Say bye, Presley.
Presley, you almost made it through to the 15 minutes.
Wish to see you, wish to see you. Many all the colors. Wish to see you, wish to see you. Many all the colors.